Hello everyone, Malcolm Young here, and going to show you something that you can set up in your house for your putting. A very simple putting station that's going to help you prepare for getting back out on the golf course. So the first thing we're going to look at is our balance. Now, balance in putting stroke is a very important part. We sometimes see golfers come to us with a little bit of weight in the heels, and that's going to tend to cause a pattern where we move around a little bit too much in the stroke, which would ultimately change our contact point with the club face and affect our start direction. So we got our golf towel here. All we've done is rolled it up into a tube shape, and I'm using this now as a little balance pod. So what I'm trying to do is get myself in a position where when I place my feet over the top of the towel, I can feel that little rise in my foot just below the arc of my foot. And then from there, as I put both feet down, I'm trying to get a little bit of heel and toe pressure. So when I feel that now, my posture feels a lot more grounded, a lot more stable. And what I might do is step off that one or two times, step back on that and get that feeling again, just to get that sense of what my lower body is doing. Obviously, the lower body in the putting stroke needs to be quite stable to allow the shoulders and the arms and the torso to kind of make the putter move the right way. So that's one part of our station. The second part of our station is I've used some masking tape. Now, very simply, I've taken a Sharpie pen, which is in my golf bag, drawn a little line, and that's going to use the line of the club face to help me make sure I'm lining up nice and square to my intended target. So for an indoor setting, very key to actually look at your setup positions at this time and just see that you know what looks square is actually in a square position. So taking that a step further with the actual masking tape, what I've done is I've got about a 5-foot putt with the mat that I have here in my house, and with that masking tape I can now see what kind of stroke length might actually be what I'd want to try and achieve. So as I step back on my balance pod here, I've got a little sense of my balance, and as I look down now, what I see in terms of the actual face line is very, very matched to that line I've drawn in the masking tape. So what I can do is start rehearsing my feeling for this putt. So I have a kind of short stroke and I have a slightly longer stroke. What that's going to change maybe is my stroke timing, and that would change maybe the way the ball speeds, so my actual impact speed with the ball hitting to the wall. So that's a very effective drill just to kind of shadow stroke the idea of what you're going to use to actually make the ball get the preferred distance. And then one pattern we tend to see a lot with golfers on the golf course is when we're facing these short putts, our peripheral vision actually able to see the hole. So what we tend to do is we'll tend to sometimes almost kind of look at the hole too early and direct our attention back towards the hole as opposed to our start line or our speed. So with this, I've just placed a dirham coin just behind the ball. Now all that's intended to do is give me a little focus point, so as I set over the ball now and get my face lined up, I can just see the edge of the coin, and I'm looking at the point where I'm going to contact the ball, but as I then make my stroke, I want to try and make sure my focus is neatly on that coin. And that gets me in a position where I'm really keeping my body still. I'm making sure that stillness in my body is helping the putter face stay stable. And as you can see, I've used a little target back here with a box of golf balls. So rather than a cup or a hole, I've used an empty box of golf balls, which acts as a very clean target for me. I'm going to get a little bit of feedback if I hit the left or right edge of the box. And very simply, it's a nice little putting station that I can use at home just to kind of check some of the basics. So whilst you're at home at this time, try and use your basic setup to check the key points, your balance. You can even check your grip. And then as you look at that, checking the putter face nice and square, and obviously checking the idea of how your stroke length and your stroke timing is going to give you appropriate speed and control to get prepared to get back in the golf course. So try these trips at home and let me know how you get on.